with resilience takes both weakness and strength. I first heard this from one of my mentors here at college when she told me this fable by Aesop. It went something like this. A giant oak stood near a brook in which a bunch of reeds that flowed in the wind all reside together. When the wind blew, the great oak stood proudly, upright with its strong arms uplifted to the sky. But the reeds lowered in the breeze and sang. The oak said, "The slight breeze that ruffles the surface of the water makes you bow your heads, while I, the mighty oak, stand upright and firm without any movement." The reeds replied, "The winds do not harm us. We bend, and so we do not break. You, in all your pride and strength, have so far resisted the storm, but not forever." As the reeds spoke, a great hurricane rushed out of the north. The oak stood proud and fought against the storm, while the yielding reeds bowed low. The wind redoubled in fury, and then all at once the great tree fell, torn up by its roots, and lay amongst the pitying reeds. At first, this fable made me very uncomfortable. I did not agree with its idea of resilience, and it went against all the constructed ideas that I had. We are commonly told that if we are strong and able to act with fortitude in any situation, then we will be able to withstand the storms that life forces on us. This idea of no longer being brilliantly strong terrified me. But the idea of no longer having to be alone made me feel really comforted. You see, before I came to Biola, I thought like this tree. My family went through a lot during high school. Through losing our house and moving 6 times in 6 months, my mom's illness, my struggle with PTSD, anxiety, depression, health issues, I was a mess. The world slowly fell apart, and I ended up barely holding on with just the sheer will that I had to survive. But I feared that this would run out. I didn't think I'd be able to be as strong as life asked me to be for as long as it asked me to be. In the midst of it all, I slowly lost or pushed away everybody I had in my life. I both felt that they weren't safe with everything I was going through. They couldn't hold it for me. They couldn't walk through it with me. But I also wanted to protect them from the pain that I had inside. I thought that if I told them about it, that it would hurt them, and I wanted to carry it all myself, because you know that works out well. Looking back now, it makes sense why I isolated in that way. But all along, I knew that I could no longer sustain the strength forever. I knew that I could not keep going because my strength was not enough to make life full of hope. I knew that one day my strength would run out and I would be hopeless. So I thought that when this strength ran out, it was game over. I didn't see anything else for me. I thought it was just holding on and that was it. But coming to Biola, all of the hype around community terrified me. You know, you show up for orientation and they have all the balloons and the streamers and they say, "Welcome to Biola, we have community, we want to love you." That terrified me. I said, "No, thank you." I said, "Me? You want me in your community? I'm not good enough." This terrified me and made me feel even more alone than I ever had. To let people into my life meant that I was no longer strong enough to withstand life on my own. If I let them carry it with me, I could not do it anymore on my own. But when I came to the end of my own strength my freshman spring, I could no longer face everything. It became too much. The school, the homework, the me trying to figure out my mental health, the going to classes, the waking up early, the not sleeping, it all just piled on me. When I came to the end of my own strength, I told my friend about the extensive panic attacks I was having every day. I would have a panic attack before class, or in between classes, or at dinner, or before bed. It was just a daily thing. I thought that was normal. When I told my friend about this, though, they said I should go to spiritual development and talk to someone in pastoral care. This terrified me. I emailed them before my appointment and sat outside on the steps and said, "Me, you want me to come and have an appointment with you? Are you sure?" They said yes. I'm very glad they did. This led to me being in therapy and having weekly meetings with my RD. At first, these caring people who wanted to help hold my story terrified me, yet intrigued me all at the same time. And over time, they proved to themselves that they were genuine and they wanted to work to help carry my story with me. And they did. They taught me that connection does not mean my end, but it means the ability to continue to walk with resilience. The American Psychological Association's many studies show that the primary factor in resilience is having caring and supportive relationships in and outside the family. Relationships that create love and trust, provide role models, and offer encouragement and reassurance help bolster a person's resilience. But what is resilience? The APA defines resilience as the process of adapting well in the face of adversity, trauma, tragedy, threats, or significant sources of stress. Research shows that resilience is ordinary, not extraordinary. We commonly demonstrate resilience. It is not a trait that people either have or do not have. It involves behaviors, thoughts, actions that can be learned and developed in anyone. We all have this ability to get through hard things, but the key is doing it with other people. But this recovery looks differently than we usually think. Former Navy SEAL Eric Gretchens explains, life's reality is we cannot bounce back. We cannot bounce back because we cannot go back in time to the people we used to be before the storm happened. There's only moving through. There's only moving forward. We cannot go back to who we were. What happens becomes a part of us. Resilient people do not bounce back from hard experiences. They find healthy ways to incorporate it into their life. The storms we go through do not define us, who we are, or what we decide to do with the rest of our lives. But we cannot go back to who we were before they happened. Relationships that bolster resilience allow this integration because of the practice of allowing others to carry our burdens with us. This is a practical action of what Paul explains in 2 Corinthians 12, 9 through 10. He says, "But he said to me, 'My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore, I will boast all the more gladly of my weaknesses, so that the power of Christ may rest upon me. For the sake of Christ, then, I am content with weakness, insults, hardships, persecutions, calamities. For when I am weak, then I am strong.'" When we allow ourselves to rely on the strength of God and others, the storm cannot outlast our strength because our source of strength is bigger than ourselves. We are strong not because we are trying to withstand the storm on our own, but because we bend toward the care of God and those who walk with us in resilience. We become like the reeds that bend but do not break when we walk with a resilience of strength and weakness. It is not that the storm does not hurt. It does. Life is hard. It still continues to be hard. But it is survivable because we are not trying to bear it all on our own. We are not the tree trying to say that in my pride and strength, I can do it all on my own. No, thank you, community. I'm good. Thank you very much for the invitation. Goodbye. But instead, it is like the reeds, together in community, full of people going through hard things together, that all remind each other to rely on God, rely on people who love you, and to build this love and trust that is essential for bolstering resilience. So, to say it in a sequential sentence, it is survivable because we are not trying to bear it in our own strength, but together with those who are willing to walk with us through the journey of resilience. So when you're in that hard thing, or life seems too much, and you don't see hope beyond tomorrow, tomorrow seems hopeless, and that's all you have, think of the reeds, and think of how we can all be soft together. That it is not about surviving on your own. Sometimes you have to, sometimes that's what life asks, but it does not work forever. It only works to a certain point until people ask you, "Hey, let me walk through that with you." So I would encourage you, send the email if you have to before the meeting. Say, "Hey, are you sure you want me?" They'll probably say yes, and I think you'll be glad they did. So yeah, remember the reeds and remember that resilience is a journey full of weakness and strength.
Discover who you're called to be at Biola University, a leading Christ-centered university in Los Angeles, with programs on campus and online. Subscribe for more of our videos and learn more at biola.edu.